Hello and welcome to ESAT. I'm in Day with the news. Hundreds of soldiers for Patriotic Gimbo 7, an armed group that was based in Eritrea, have returned home in the last few days. The move follows a decision by Patriotic Gimbo 7 to lay down arms and carry out a peaceful political struggle after a call by Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed to all opposition groups, armed or otherwise. The soldiers were welcomed in Gondar and other towns in northern Ethiopia by residents and regional officials. The government has set up a program to reintegrate the soldiers back into the community. Leaders of Patriotic Gimbo 7, including its chairman, Professor Brahanu Nega, and General Secretary Andergacho Tsege, as well as over 200 of its supporters and members who live in the United States and Europe and elsewhere, will arrive in Ethiopia on Saturday. Supporters and members of PG7 in Ethiopia have been making preparations to welcome their leaders. Tammany Benyene, Ethiopia's leading rights activist, returned home after 2 decades in exile in the United States. Mr. Benyene has been a vocal critic of the ethnic-oriented and divisive rule by the Tigray People's Liberation Front, an ethnic oligarchy that controlled political power with an iron fist for over a quarter century. He was forced into exile 22 years ago, few years after the TPLF took control of political power and began persecution of political dissidents and activists. When a young breed of leaders from the ruling coalition, EPRDF, led by a reformist Prime Minister, Abiy Ahmed, took the helm of political power in April, they made a call to the opposition and critics abroad to return home and work together. Mr. Benyene's return to his country could be taken as a major step towards an end to a long culture of isolating and persecuting critics by the government. Imprisonment, killings and exile because of one's political stance need to stop, Tammany Benyene said in an event organized in Addis Ababa to welcome him. The political change in Ethiopia had come at a great cost, Benyene said. So many had paid with their lives, thousands have been jailed and tortured. The former comedian urged the changes happening in Ethiopia should be augmented by forming institutions that he said were vital for the creation and development of a democratic culture. Mr. Benyene urged authorities to ban political parties whose political platform is based on targeting and hating certain ethnic groups. The activist will travel to major cities and towns across the country. He said he will do his part to urge people to support ongoing political reforms. Tammany Benyene is also known for his hard-hitting documentaries and exposés on ESAT. The Chinese President Xi Jinping has offered $60 billion of additional financing for Africa. He was speaking at the opening of China-Africa Summit in Beijing. Mr. Xi defended China's investment program in Africa, saying there were no political strings attached to the projects, which he said were of mutual benefit. Critics have been warning that African countries have been going into unsustainable levels of debt with China, which has loaned billions of dollars to finance major infrastructure development. The BBC report said Rwanda's President Paul Kagame dismissed talk of debt traps and said the China-Africa relationship was vital. The South African President Cyril Ramaphosa said the summit refutes the view that a new colonialism was taking hold in Africa. That ends the news. Thanks for watching.